Yeah. You really think I'm gonna buy that kind of lie? Our company has no need for incompetents who help society's dead weight. Wait a minute. Whatever the reason, the fact is I was late and I'm sorry. But it's not a lie. Then where's your proof that it's not a lie? You don't have any, do you? If you're so frustrated, try and prove it. My long-held dream was shattered that day. More than the sadness of failing the interview, it's painful to be labeled a liar. As I headed home with slumped shoulders on the worst day of my life, I had no idea at the time that this day would become an important one for me. I'm Ethan. I've loved video games since I was a kid, and my dream for the future was set in 5th grade when I became fascinated by a certain game. I was captivated and moved by a certain survival game. I worked desperately hard at my studies, with the sole desire to work at the company that makes the survival games I love so much. I was always at the top of my class in middle and high school. You have to be, or you can't get into a major company with an insanely high job-to-applicant ratio. I was also student council president in middle school to boost my grades. Putting aside the reason, being student council president was fun. Working to enrich students' school lives gave me confidence. While working hard at school events and studies, I also put effort into club activities. I founded the Video Game Research Club. It's a club for programming, game development, and making videos introducing the school. The game we made in the summer of 8th grade got a little media attention, and our school became a bit famous. Everyone called us the Nerd Club, but before we knew it, we'd become a popular club. I feel like this experience taught me that people's evaluations can easily change based on grades and achievements. I went on to the top high school in the state. Around this time, I focused on submitting my original games to contests to build up my resume. I'm grateful that although my games never won a grand prize, I received many awards. There were frustrating times, but I must have built up quite a resume. After graduating high school, I didn't go to college, but to a well-known vocational school. That's because several people had gotten jobs at my dream company after attending that school. I loved vocational school. When I was a kid, my parents would often get mad at me for playing video games all the time. But if this becomes my job, the more I play games, the more I'll be seen as a hard worker. I thought about games all day and holed up in my room even on my days off. No one complains anymore. I felt like I was getting closer to my dream step by step, and I was so happy every day. And then job hunting began. I was betting everything on my dream major game company. I steadily passed one exam after another, and somehow made it to the final interview. By this point, even my vocational school teachers and friends were making a fuss about celebrating. I was on the verge of getting an unofficial job offer. That said, vocational school classmates are also rivals. There were a lot of students who enrolled hoping for the same company as me. As more and more of my classmates get jobs, there are some who still haven't. Everyone says to apply to multiple companies and be happy if you can get in somewhere. Betting everything on one major company was called reckless. When I seemed close to success, some students got jealous. Even guys I thought were my friends started acting distant when things weren't going well for them. But I didn't let it bother me much. After all, I didn't come to this school to make friends. This school is just one means to an end in my life plan. And while I put on a brave face, I felt like I was being crushed under the pressure of what would happen if I failed this close to the end. I thought I couldn't confide in anyone, but there was one kindred spirit who was my friend. She's not in the same department, but Sarah is in the illustration and video creator club. Sarah was the only one who sympathized with my way of thinking. Just like me, she's been creating videos and hit messenger app stickers as an illustrator since high school, and everyone looks up to her. She's a beautiful girl and doesn't talk much. She's always doing things alone, so she's well known in other departments and seen as someone out of reach. I was alone in the library, thinking about the final selection, when, why the pensive look on your face? The final selection is tomorrow. I guess I'm getting nervous. It's rare to see you in the library, Sarah, isn't it? I figured I need to get serious about drawing illustrations today. Is there another contest? No, the illustrations are for stickers. I got invited to a party at the headquarters of the messenger app company. I haven't put out anything new lately, So it'd be awkward, right? That's why I'm in a rush to make some. As expected of a popular artist, you're on another level. Are you messing with me? Coming from you, Ethan. It just sounds like sarcasm. Why would I be sarcastic? Oh, so that's why I'm losing friends. Did you come here to make friends, Ethan? Do I seem like I did? If so, I'd be acting way more social. No, it doesn't seem that way. The final selection is coming up soon, right? Are you nervous? I'm so nervous, it's unbelievable. By the way, you already got a job offer, right, Sarah? Well, yeah. You could say it's settled, in a way. What's that supposed to mean? Won't you tell me? I'll tell you when you get your offer, and let's celebrate together. Just as friendless folks. True. Maybe we should form a Lonely Hearts Alliance. I'm looking forward to it. In any case, go seal the deal tomorrow. If you don't get hired, I won't know what their hiring criteria even are. I'm excited to hear the results. Sarah said with a laugh. The reason Sarah and I can relate to each other so well is that I once had her help with the illustration and background for a game I was submitting to a contest, and we entered it as a collaboration. I've worked with other people too, but a lot of them have strong opinions, so we often clash. But even though Sarah and I are more passionate than anyone, we think alike and never butt heads. We probably understand each other because we're both uncompromising. Ever since then, we've been close enough to consult each other whenever something comes up. She's one of the few friends I can be totally honest with. We've given each other pep talks at times. The day of the interview arrived. I had trouble falling asleep last night, probably from nerves. I want to make this a memorable day where I can grasp my childhood dream. It takes less than 20 minutes by train and 10 minutes on foot to get to the company. That said, there could be train delays. I left the house over an hour before the interview time, just to be safe. There were no train issues, and I arrived at the nearest station. I got here way too early. I thought my cautious nature was funny even to myself. I was about to kill time at a cafe in front of the company, when an unbelievable sight caught my eye. A woman was crouched over in an alley I happened to glance at. I rushed over to her without thinking. Are you all right? Do you feel sick? I'm sorry. Please help me. Call an ambulance. Saying that, she slumped against me and lost consciousness. I hurriedly called for an ambulance. Her belly was so big, it looked like the baby could be born any minute. Realizing she was pregnant, I thought this was even more of an emergency. While waiting for the ambulance to arrive, I decided to call the company for the time being. I'm sorry. This is Ethan, who is scheduled to attend a final selection today. On my way to the company, a pregnant woman collapsed, so I called an ambulance and may be a bit late. But I will hurry there as quickly as I can. I'm truly sorry, I said and hung up the phone. The person on the other end sounded half amused, half exasperated. But at the time, I thought I was just imagining it. Right after I hung up, the ambulance arrived. I told the paramedics that I was just a passerby and didn't even know the woman's name. I felt relieved that I could still make it on time at this rate. But then the police showed up for some reason. We received a report that a woman had collapsed. Are you the one who helped her? Yes. As I just told the paramedics, I'm an unrelated bystander. I have an important interview after this, so I'd like to be on my way. Once a report has been made, we need to investigate this scene. Whereabout was she collapsed? And how did you help her? Huh? She was crouched over here, and I told the police what I had just explained to the paramedics. That on-site investigation took a while, and by the time I was finally released, it was 10 minutes past the meeting time for the final selection. I hurried to the company and explained at the reception desk about the phone call I made and helping the pregnant woman. The receptionist gave a vague response, as if only half listening, but at least I was allowed inside the building. When it was my turn, I entered the interview room. Mr. Sanders, the interviewer who had a favorable impression of me during the final interviews, was there. I felt relieved. The first thing Mr. Sanders said when he saw me was, "So, what time did you wake up today?" His tone of voice and way of speaking were completely different from before. It was like he was a different person. I woke up at 6 a.m. today. I left my house with over 30 minutes to spare. And then you found a collapsed pregnant woman, was it? That's right. So I called for an ambulance and, I see. Well, aren't you kind? Helping someone in need. How admirable. Did you think we'd praise you for that? Even grade schoolers wouldn't fall for such a lie. What? You think I'm lying? Yeah. You really think I'm gonna buy that kind of lie? Our company has no need for incompetents who help society's dead weight. Wait a minute. Whatever the reason, the fact is I was late and I'm sorry. But it's not a lie. When I said that, the interviewers exchanged glances and cocked their heads. From their attitudes, I could tell they didn't believe me. Then where's your proof that it's not a lie? You don't have any, do you? If you're so frustrated, try and prove it. Proof? Maybe have the police officer from earlier confirm it's true. Mr. Sanders made an exasperated face when I said that. Look, it's better not to involve adults in your excuses. Even if it was true, today's exam is important for you, right? So to be blunt, what were you thinking? Helping dead weight like that? Can't you even prioritize? We don't need incompetence at our company. He said loudly and forcefully closed the file that presumably contained my resume. At that moment, I knew I wasn't getting hired. As if to rub salt in the wound, Mr. Sanders continued. Do you even know what time is? Time. It's something you can never get back once it's passed. That's right. Humans only have a limited time to live, don't they? Even as we sit here, we're moving closer to death. Are you aware that you're messing up our schedules and using up that time right now? Any company would find someone like you, who thoughtlessly inconveniences them, unnecessary from now on. You're a burden on society, just like that pregnant woman you helped this morning. We're done here. I apologized and left the room. Memories of how desperately I'd worked up to now flashed before my eyes, and tears started to flow. I rushed to the bathroom and cried. But I don't regret what happened this morning. Mr. Sanders and the others may think it's a lie, but it's the honest truth. I'd be saved if the pregnant woman was okay even though I failed the interview. Honestly, I lost interest in working for a company that mocks helping others and calls pregnant women burdens on society. I definitely wanted to get into this company, but I can't ignore people in need. Why do I feel that way? It's because someone helped me in the past. During summer break in elementary school, I went to visit my grandparents in the countryside. Where I usually live is a city full of high-rise apartments. In contrast, my grandparents' place has a lot of nature, and I could catch bugs and fish to my heart's content. While my farmer grandparents watched, I fully enjoyed the countryside. This time, since I'd visited a year before, I wasn't nervous at all and got too absorbed in playing. As the sun was setting and I thought I should head back soon, I realized I didn't know the way home. I walked a lot trying to get back to my grandparents' house, but the countryside night surrounded by nature was pitch black. As a little kid, I broke down crying. Then a man out walking his dog called out to me. "What's wrong? You lost," he said, peering at my face. "I haven't seen your face around here." Feeling relieved, I started crying even more. "You scared?" Sorry. Don't be scared. I don't know where my house is." "My grandma's house." I see. "I'll help you look for it. It's okay now," he said, looking at my bud cage. "Wow, you caught a lot of rhinoceros beetles. That's awesome." "Yeah, it's the first time I caught 6. He immediately blew away my scary feelings, asked my name and what my grandparents' house was like. I earnestly described the characteristics of my grandparents' house. "With that many hints, we'll find it right away. Thanks. It's like a fun mystery game." As he said that, he asked passers-by about those characteristics to look for my grandparents' house. From our chat on the way, I learned the guy was a local high schooler. To keep me from getting anxious, he also asked a lot about the video games I like. When we got to my grandparents' house, he said to me, "Mystery solved. Mission complete." Then he went home. I told my grandparents about him, but they didn't really seem to know who I was talking about. "We'll have to thank him if we see him somewhere," they said. But I never ran into that guy again after that day. But I can't forget what happened that day. I'd never felt so uneasy before, and the relief I felt when he helped me was a first too. I've lived wanting to become a Superman like that guy. That's why I want to actively help people. So if I hadn't helped that time, the mother and child might have been in danger. The woman lost consciousness after asking me to call an ambulance. No one would have noticed her collapsed in a back alley like that. And in that moment when she collapsed, I'm sure she felt really scared and anxious. If the price of saving someone is my job interview, a life is more important. I might have been rejected either way. If someone thinks about wanting to help others next time because a stranger helped them, and that loops, the world is sure to become kinder. I wonder if I was able to be even a little bit like that guy from that day. I comforted and affirmed myself, telling myself that it's not like I can't make games if it's a different company. If I shine bright enough for them to find me wherever I am, I bet that company will regret it. I decided to shift gears and look for another job, wanting to become that kind of person. The next day, when I went to vocational school, Sarah came to talk to me. Good work yesterday. So how'd it go? Can't you tell from my face? I could tell even without seeing your face when you didn't contact me yesterday. Well, no big deal. It was a company that couldn't see your appeal, Ethan. Companies are about compatibility, so you should find one you gel with. True. Actually, I was late yesterday. What? That's rare. Were you sick or something? I answered that question by telling her about the pregnant woman from yesterday. I also told her what Mr. Sanders said to me. So that's what happened. Deciding it's a lie after hearing that story means Mr. Sanders has never helped anyone or been helped himself. Was the pregnant woman okay? I don't know that either. I hope she's alright though. I see. That's an amazing thing you did, Ethan. It's so cool. Not many people can sacrifice themselves to save someone like that. Because everyone's the main character of their own life, so they try to avoid anything that be a minus for them. So that's incredible. Thanks. I don't regret what I did yesterday, but when I got shot down like that, I started wondering if I'm the weird one. But hearing you say that now, I feel kind of relieved. There's no way you're wrong. I mean, lives were at stake. Too, even. I think if you ignored people like that and succeeded at the interview, you'd remember it every time you passed that road and regret it. It's obviously a good thing. Job hunting will definitely go well for you too. I mean, no way things won't work out for such a good person. When she said that with a smile, my worries and anxiety flew away. Just like that guy from that day. From that day on, I gave job hunting my all as a restart. A few days later, on Sunday, I was watching TV at home when there was a show about a newborn baby. There's something mystical about a little baby's cry, and I was spacing out watching TV. I feel like I've seen her face somewhere. Who was it? I muttered, looking at the woman on TV. Then the woman said, actually, before this baby was born, I collapsed in a back alley and was saved by someone. Oh, from that time, my voice came out at a volume you wouldn't think I was alone in the room. And then I felt relieved. They were okay. I'm so glad. Thinking that, tears naturally welled up. Watching TV, that woman appealed. I want to tell the person who helped me then that the baby is fine, and I want to meet my lifesaver. If anyone has any idea who it might be or knows that person, please contact us. I got a bit shy. I thought her healthy appearance now was plenty thanks. So I hesitated about contacting them. Then the phone rang. It was Sarah. Hey, I was just watching TV and… Yeah, I'm watching too. The baby, right? They were okay. I'm so glad. Did you contact them? No, I'm torn. I mean, I don't need any thanks, and it's embarrassing. What are you saying? The mom is seriously looking for you. You have to contact them. True. All right, I'll try contacting them. After saying that and hanging up, I called the phone number displayed on TV. The call connected to the TV station, and I told them about the situation when she collapsed and gave them my contact info before hanging up. Then I immediately got a call from an unknown number. Apparently it was from her husband, and the wife and baby were still in the hospital. He said she wants to meet me, and if I could go meet them if possible. I said I'd go see them. The next day, I went straight to the hospital to meet them. When I got to the hospital at the agreed time, a man was standing at the entrance. Are you Ethan? Yes. Nice to meet you. I'm Smith. Thank you for saving my wife and son the other day. And I'm sorry for troubling you to come all this way. No. Thank you for looking for me. Are the baby and your wife doing well? Yes, thanks to you. Both mother and child are healthy. It's terrifying to think what could have happened if you hadn't helped them that day. Let's not stand around chatting. Come on in. My wife is waiting eagerly for you. All right. Thank you. Saying that, I entered the hospital room. It said special room and looked just like a studio apartment. What an amazing room. They say childbirth is life-threatening, so we splurged, he said happily. When Smith opened the curtain, there was the woman from that day lovingly holding her baby. Hello. Congratulations on giving birth. Oh, right. It's you. That voice. Thank you for coming all this way. When we made the TV appeal, we got a lot of calls from fake people, and when the TV station asked them about what happened then, they gave nonsensical answers. So we were half resigned that we might not meet you, which makes me even happier. Really. To be honest, I got shy and wasn't sure about contacting you. Thinking about it that way, the fake people sure are proactive. Everyone laughed when I said that. You were late that day, right? I'm pretty sure you said something about an interview on the phone. I felt a bit awkward. Oh, it was an interview, but actually I got rejected for not being good enough. I'm job hunting with a vengeance now. I see. I'm sorry you were late for helping my wife. If it was this time of year, it must have been a final interview. Yes, it was the final selection, but I got weeded out immediately. Major companies sure have high standards. It's the result of me overreaching. But it's okay. I'm a gaming nerd and want a job related to games, so I'm back to job hunting with renewed focus. When I said that, for some reason Smith and his wife exchanged glances. Don't tell me. The final selection was for the game company near where you collapsed. That's right. I didn't make it in though. Still job hunting. Have you decided where you want to work? No, but I absolutely love games, so I'm looking for a company that makes games. Then I want to hire you at our company. Saying that, he handed me his business card. I looked at it in surprise. Written there was a company said to be run by a young CEO with a lot of momentum lately. And Smith was the CEO. What? That hot topic company lately is your company, Smith. I'm a huge fan of this company's games. I play all of these apps. That's amazing. I got super excited. The two of them smiled happily seeing the data from the games I'd played extensively. If you love our games this much, there's no mistake. We'd definitely regret it if we didn't hire you. Won't you please join us? I got confused by this unbelievable development, but I was so happy that tears overflowed. I'm sorry. I'm just a crybaby, so this is embarrassing. If you're okay with someone like me, I'll work hard. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad. We look forward to working with you too. And I got an unofficial job offer on the spot. It's a true story. That sounds like a lie. This must be some kind of fate. After that, we exchanged contact info, and I visited the company again the next day. Looking at my history there, they praised me highly, saying we're lucky to have such a talented person join us. You've studied so much up to now. Wonderful. I was able to join a company with confidence. And there was someone I needed to report to. I hurried and made a call. Hello. I have the best news today. What is it? Did you meet the mother and child? Yeah, I did. I met them. But that's not all. I got a job too. What? How did that happen? It's a long story, so want to meet up now if you're free. Sure. The cafe in front of the station. Good. Sounds good. I'm close, so I'll wait there. I felt it'd be a waste to tell such happy news over the phone. I got to the cafe in front of the station and Sarah came after a bit. Sorry for calling you out so suddenly. I wanted to meet and hear the story too, so no problem. I need to tell you about where I got a job too. I told her everything that happened in the hospital room earlier. Sarah listened to my story leaning forward, and at the end I mentioned the name of the company I got a job at. What? No way. Saying that in surprise, she looked at the business card I got. What? What is it? Actually, about the company I'm gonna work at. Oh yeah, you were gonna tell me. It's this company. Saying that, she took out a company pamphlet. I froze. What? Don't tell me. I'm surprised too. We have both gotten jobs at the same company. Actually, the CEO and my older sister were childhood friends, and I'd been working hard because I wanted to draw illustrations for this company's games. But it's almost like I got in through connections, so I couldn't really say much. I see. But even with connections, It's hard if you don't have the skills. We were in different departments, but your talent was well known, and when you participated in game creation as my partner, people were so jealous. You're really kind, Ethan. Thank you. So we're gonna be co-workers from now on, huh? Yeah. It's reassuring somehow. Thank you so much. That's my line. Let's do our best. After that, we graduated safely and joined a company. We're in different departments, but it's a company where everyone works on one floor, so I see Sarah every day. As we consulted about work and complained, we started meeting frequently, and before I knew it, I'd fallen for Sarah. Christmas, the year we joined a company, I got up the courage to ask her out to dinner. Hoping it'd be a special day, we had dinner at a slightly fancy restaurant. I confessed my feelings to her there. The confession was a resounding success. We became a couple. Mr. Smith is a CEO with momentum who keeps letting us take on new challenges. Our apps became hits one after another, and we got more TV coverage. I love my job so much, I can't get enough. I get so absorbed in work that the CEO scolds me not to work overtime. One day, the CEO said this to me. We had TV help us find someone before, remember? You mean the story about my important day, right? Yeah. That TV station said they want to do a follow-up interview. If you're okay with it, could you be on it, Ethan? Oh really? TV is a bit embarrassing, but I'll cooperate. I'm glad. Sorry it's a Sunday, but could you come to my place next week? Of course. I'd be happy to visit. It'd be my first time on TV. When I nervously told Sarah about it, she laughed. She said you should at least go to a hair salon, so I went and got ready for the TV interview. On the agreed day, I went to the CEO's house and the baby had gotten big, super cute and energetic. While being interviewed for TV, I noticed something. I felt like the man interviewing us resembled the young man who took me to my grandma's house that day. After the interview, I tried asking, I'm sorry. I apologize if I'm mistaken, but are you possibly from Littleton? What? Did my accent slip out? Yes, I am. Good catch. I got happy and expressed my gratitude for that day. The episode, age, and place all match, so there's no mistake. I see. You remembered that, huh? I'm sure back then I was just happy to find a playmate. Thanks for keeping me company. Sorry I don't remember much. No, you must help all sorts of people then. I made it this far aspiring to be like you, so I'm thrilled to meet you. Thank you. When I said that, he smiled happily. He must be a kind man, which is why he took interest in this issue. This day was another unforgettable reunion for me. After that too, the company's performance keeps growing. It's a company that values its employees, so everyone seems to enjoy their work. Meanwhile, I heard rumors that the company I dined for before was doing worse. The game industry has horizontal connections, so information comes in. Apparently Mr. Sanders, the interviewer who said cruel things to me, is in the middle of a power harassment lawsuit. He seems to regularly spew abuse like what he said to me, and it got recorded. As a result, he got demoted, and that's where things stand. Companies are really all about connections between people after all. Be kind to others and a little strict with yourself. The CEO always says that. I'm really blessed with the people around me. I want to cherish others so that someone will think that way about me too.